This is Lee with 82 Game and 12 here on YouTube channel Sons of Liberty 75. We're picking back up with Battle of Monmouth comparison between the SPI magazine game and GMT's Battles of the American Revolution series. We are at the 1140 turn here with the SPI game, and just going to jump right into it. I, of course, have made some adjustments to the scenario to make it more historical, and that is something that I think needed to be done to be able to compare the two games more accurately. So if you're wondering about what I'm talking about, you can look at some of the other videos. And the last video is where I added Gray's brigade and 3 artillery counters, 3 6-pound batteries, 2 guns each. Because the British only had 1 counter assigned. It was 3-pounders. And the only difference they make concerning the artillery size difference is the range. So you have an extended range with the 6 and also the 12-pounder, but there's not any other difference concerning damage or increased morale. Modifier or anything like that. So I don't know if there necessarily needs to be, but I don't know, a 3-pound pounder versus a 12-pounder. I think that would be quite a bit of a excuse me. I got caught having a sneeze. If I was on the receiving end of a 12-pounder compared to a 3-pounder, I think my fear factor would be increased somewhat. So I once had the opportunity to stand behind a Civil War artillery gun being fired, and just being near it was enough to affect you. Not only the rush of the air that went by you, but the fact that it shook you, and also how loud it was. And that was just firing a just powder and wad, I guess, no shell. So if you've never experienced that, it's a little bit difficult to understand the impact it can have on you. And I was behind. I wasn't out in front. And you could imagine what it would be like to approach artillery that's firing towards you. And then if they're firing canister, you know, that's going to take quite a bit of guts to keep going, especially when people around you are getting blown away. Maybe, you know, after seeing some of the carnage that battle produces, you might become just where you don't really respond to seeing some of that horrific images and so forth because you've seen it so many times. I don't know. But, you know, it's hard to pass judgment on these farmers and other occupations that were fighting in this war. Especially when you're up against a superiorly trained force and they charge at you with bayonets. It's not so easy to stand there when you're not armed with bayonets, but maybe with knives and axes and, you know, and your musket, but, you know, you don't have a bayonet. So it's easy to say, oh, I would stand until you're actually there. And so it's understandable why, you know, they would turn and flee. They were willing to run away and fight again another day instead of, you know, standing there and letting themselves be shish kebabbed. I think there comes a point you have to retreat so that you can fight at an opportunity when you've got a better chance. 1140, we've got the Colonials and we have the command phase. So we have to roll for Lee. I rolled a 1, which is not very good. That's not going to help. Lee, his activation points fluctuates, and with a 1, he gets 0. So he has no activation points to give, which means no one's going to be activated except for Wayne. Wayne here does not need activation. One, two, three. Okay. He's got a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. he can activate that artillery. Now, Scott underneath, he can't activate him. Or any of these units back here. That's Scott's, so he can't activate that one either. And Lafayette can't be activated, and neither can Maxwell. So Dickinson's not activated. So if I was to put these, they're just, and I don't really even need to put them out there. Wayne's the only one that's going to be able to be activated. So, regard to out of command, I don't think I have anybody at the moment that's out of command. Scott has range of 2, so his men are. Now over here, Maxwell, so these guys back here, they are out of command. They're not isolated, but these guys are out of command. That's Lafayette's. That's Scott's. So they're routing though, so I don't need to mark them. Okay. Now we go to the rally phase for the non-phasing player. And so we've got Erskine is going to be able to rally this unit here. So it's disordered now. Just turn it around. This unit here is going to lose another point. So they're going to be down to only one strength point. If you're at the edge of the map, let's back up some. Edge of the map, and you're still needing to route, then you have to take a strength point loss. All right, so this unit here, let's see, Clinton here, he can rally that unit, and then this unit here is within his command range. Los here is going to rally these guys, so they're just disordered. They can turn around. This unit here is going to have to route move. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cornwallis is going to rally this unit. Goes to disorder and turns back around. And then this unit here, Cornwallis can rally that unit. Yeah, he's too far away, but Cornwallis can rally. That's part of his division. Well, maybe not. Maybe, well, I don't know that, well, he's kind of, he's a, he's not the Army commander, that's Clinton. A brigade leader may rally the units of his brigade that are within his command radius. An Army leader may rally a number of units equal to his activation point total. Okay, so yeah, he can. So, well, it says that an Army leader may rally a number of units equal to his activation point total that are within his command radius. So that doesn't say that if they're just disordered or if they're routed. So Clinton could, 2, 3, 4, he could rally this unit and it wouldn't have to lose its strength. So we can turn back around like so. Be just disordered. And then this unit could have been rallied where it was at. 3. So I was thinking that well, here's the morale. Oh, man. Now it says routed units may only Let's see, routed units may rally only if they're stacked with a friendly leader. See 18.0 for additional advanced scenario rally rules. So let's go back to this. He's going to be routed still, because it doesn't specify that you'd have to have a leader stacked with them. That's in the basic rules, and the advanced rules does not specify that you can just use your range. So, not for sure how they wanted that to work, but it would make sense that you'd have to get a leader over a leader of a higher status to stop a rout. Washington was not able to stop all of the troops that were routing. But his presence did stop the overall rout. So, so we've taken care of that. Next, we've got the movement phase, march phase. So, they were right there. So these guys would have to stack together to try to do something against these guys. I don't think they can just stand here and I could approach and then fire. I think that's what they're going to do. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. He's going to move to here. No, wait a minute. They can't do that. They can't move adjacent. They cannot move adjacent. they're out of command. They can't move into minimum fire zone. So they can move up. And that's what they're due. This guy will move up into these woods, stay in the woods there. He will get his free facing change. He'll move to here, and he'll move to there. That way they can at least fire on this unit. This guy's going to move to here, which will put him out of range. So Wayne would have to move to here. Excuse me. Don't want to change anybody here. Except for these guys. They're going to move up to right there. This unit will move up. To there. These guys will take their free facing change, turn here. Over here, this guy's going to turn. Free facing change. And he's going to turn around like that so he can fire here. This guy's going to turn. Step there. If they're disordered, they can't change their formation. This guy will move to here. Lafayette, that's his guy there, so he'll move to here. Maxwell, that's Scott's guy. That's Scott's guy, so Scott's going to move to there. Lee is going to move over to that unit. Just like that. Okay. So now we go to the artillery fire. And the British would fire first, but again, they don't have any guns that are unlimbered. So all of the artillery fire will come from the Colonials. So we've got that 6-pounder right there. Okay, gonna fire here at this unit. All right, the target's in line. Oh, we got a 6. So that'll be disordered. Okay. Now we find the next gun. Right there. And they're going to fire at this unit here. So that's a strength of 2. And they're in minimum range. Okay. Okay, I rolled a 4. They're also in line. So that'll be a disorder. Okay. Next is this gun here. Fire right there on this guy. Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to fire on this guy because it'll be into his flank. Right into his flank there. All right. Enfilade. Rolled a 4. So that's going to be disordered. And then we have this unit here with Wayne. And it's going to fire at this unit here. Rolled a 1, that's no effect. Now we go here. They can't fire on that one. They can fire right here where Clinton's at. So that's range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He rolled a 4. That's going to be maximum range. And let's see, that is going to be, they're in column. So a 4 is going to be a disordered check. Plus we roll to see if Clinton is injured. We rolled a 1, which means that he is. So we flip him over to his reduced side. And just put him with someone else. It's going to reduce their effectiveness because he went from having 6 activation points to now only having 3. Now we go to the infantry fire. And the Colonials get first fire there. And they want to start off over here on this side. So we're going to start right here. All right, so we've got 4 firing here, and they're in column. Max range, let's say 4, and they're in column. Rolled a 2, no effect. And so they get to fire back. That's 6. And that's who they're going to fire at. 6. Range of 2. And they're in Colonials in open line. Rolled a 5. What did I say? 6. Yeah, 6. Now they rolled a 5. No effect. Okay. So now this unit fires. Strength of 4. They're in column. Got a 2. That's no effect. All right. Nobody can fire there. So that British unit there. Yeah, I guess he'll fire right here. Where these guys are at. A 5. It's no effect. Let's see here. No, they're actually going to be right there in line. So okay, so 6 strength firing here. And I rolled a 5. That's going to be a morale check. But they rolled a 1, so they passed. Okay. So let's go to this artillery infantry unit right here. Got a strength of 4. They're firing right there. Units in line. Got a 6. That'll be a morale check. They rolled a 5 and they passed. Okay. Disordered unit. That disordered unit's going to fire right here. Strength of 5, but they're disordered. Still got a 5 though. But that's a morale check. Rolled a 4 and passed. Okay. Now we come back to this unit. He can't fire. This unit can fire though, this disordered unit. And he's going to fire here. Ooh, he got a 6. That's a morale check. He rolled a 3 and passed. This infantry unit's unable to fire because they're not on the top. Same thing with this one. He fired already. So we have this disordered unit here. And he's actually going to fire at this artillery unit with that infantry. 1 is no effect. Okay. Now this unit here, it's a strength of 3. It's going to fire. Ooh, got a 6. Okay, on that disordered unit, it's going to be over here. Colonial, okay, that's a morale check, but he's already disordered. Well, I guess it's still just a morale check. And he rolled a 4. And he has a 3, so he's going to actually rout. 1, 2, 3. Routing away. All right. This is where he ended up. Okay, so now we go with this unit here. They're going to fire here at that unit. And they have a strength of, should be 7. Well, we've got to have some 7s in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay. Strength of 7. And the target is in column. So, okay, maximum range. Okay. Column. Rolled a 4. It's a morale check. And they rolled a 2. That's what they have, so they survived that. Okay, so that unit now fires back. Okay. Strength of 4. Rolled a 2. It's going to be no effect. So now that unit's target of this unit, he's got a strength of 6. Okay, column. He rolled a 4. 4, he's disordered. Okay. And he has a strength of 2. Rolled a 4. No effect. Okay. And let's go with this. Well, we got to go with this unit here. All right, so he has a strength of 6. The target is just a battery. Okay, and I rolled a 5. Okay, it's no effect. All right. And let's see here. We've got this unit here going to fire there. He's got a range of, well, not a range, but he's got a strength of 3. He's disordered. Oh, he rolled a 6. So that's going to be a disorder. And he's already disordered, so he'll lose a strength point and make a morale check. He got a 4. And so that's what he has is, well, no, he's got less than that. He's taken a strength point loss. So he's actually going to rout because he's got -2 for being disordered, -1 for his strength point loss. So that's 3, and he rolled a 4. So goes back to there. All right. This unit fires. Strength of 5, he's going to fire right here. Goes in line. And got a 6. So 5. Short range, minimum range, 5. And what I say, I got a 6. It's a disorder or a rout. And he's going to be routed. He's already disordered. So he's going to lose a strength point and then retreat 3 hexes. No. He's not already routed. Okay. So he has a, yeah, but he failed his morale. So he'll be just routed. And then we have to roll for the leader. Nope. The leader's already been three. And then we have this unit here can fire, this disordered unit. Strength of 5. No, he's actually got a strength of 4. He rolled a 4. No effect. And then this unit is going to fire. Because it's down this hex side, this hex spine, between front and flank, it's considered a front. Ooh, we got a 6. Okay, so strength of 5, still here. Column, colonial, morale check. And his morale is 6 minus 1 is 5. And he rolled a 4, so he passed. Okay. And then we don't have anybody that's within combat, close combat shock range, so no shock. And then we just move right on to the get rid of that. We can go right to the British phase. And there's no actual track for morale, loss of morale, or due to the number of casualties an army loses that they give up the fight, you know. And maybe that's something that's needed as units, you know, you would count routed units as lost units until they're rallied. And maybe even count to disordered units, you know, at a lower value. So, all right, so command-wise, so Clinton can put Gray in command. And then Gray, 1, 2, 3, these guys are within his command range. Clinton can put the unit that he's with here in command. And then Gray's close enough. He can command all the units that are underneath him, and then also this unit that's disordered. And so Clinton has one more. No, he actually has two more activations. So he can, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He could put both of these into activation. But he can't put Los. But Cornwallis is close enough, and he can put him, Los, into command. Plus, he can still command this unit, and this unit, this unit. So, and this unit up here, though, this independent unit, is not part of Los's command, so he can't put him in command. So that unit there, he's going to be out of command. This one. Okay. Now we look to rally units. All right, so this unit here is part of Scott's. Scott, who has a command range of 2, can rally this unit. And he can rally the unit that he's with here, turn him back over. This unit here, that's part of Lafayette's. He's too far away, even too far away from Wayne. One, two, okay, so Lafayette's close enough for him. And let's see, who is this? Okay, and him. And he can rally that unit. That's Maxwell. He's neither one of these guys can be rallied by Maxwell. He's too far away, or Maxwell's replacement actually. But he is able to rally that unit. Okay. And Lafayette is able to rally the unit he's with here. And Lee can rally this unit. Okay. All right, so now we have the March phase. Oh, we got these two units down here that are stacked. They're activated in command. So they're both going to change to line. And then he's going to move to there. This one's going to move to there. Okay. And then here, where Gray's at, this unit's going to change to line. 1, 2, and move to there. Okay. I'm actually going to move these artillery units. We're going to keep moving. So one of them's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn like that. Another one is going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then turn 8 like that. And this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I go to there. And so let's see here. This guy's changing the line. 1, 2, 3. Gray will go to there. This unit is going to turn like this. 1, 2, 3. And then Clinton here. We'll hold off on him. Arxana's going to go ahead and save this, move to save that unit. This battery here, is going to move over this direction. Two, three, four. Oops. So he was turned there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then he's gonna move up to here, 8, right there. Los is going to move here to rally that unit. Okay, we've got 2 units stacked here. So this unit here is going to go 1. It's going to go to there. This unit here is also disordered. They just unstacked. Of course, they want to change. They should have changed their formation first. Back to line. Oh, no, they can't. Okay, so they just moved to there. Well, they don't want to move up that close. They just want to move to there. And this one will move into here. Disordered. Can't change their formation yet. Okay. So over here, we want to save these riding Queen's Dragoons, Rangers. So Cornwallis is going to have to move to there. And then this independent unit wants to stay close enough. So it'll just move up to here. Can't do anything about that unit. He's going to move. Now, this unit here, if it was turned, it would be able to fire reaction fire, because he'd be leaving a frontal zone. They have a zone of 2 hexes, but he's going to move to there. And then this unit here, he's going to move to attack that battery. So he moves to here. Now, when he moves to here again, he's leaving that intermediate, the minimum fire range, fire zone. So this artillery unit will be able to fire. And they are. They're going to fire on this British unit that's moving. So, ooh, a 5. Okay. So, artillery minimum fire zone. And they're in line. And they got a 5. That's going to be a disorder. So, they disorder them. they go ahead and move up here. Okay. And then we've got this unit here. Okay, so Cornwallis still can give this guy activation. And so he's going to move to here. Right there. All right. There we are. So now we roll for artillery fire, and it's going to be the Colonials, and they're going to start right here, firing into this unit here. So, strength of 2. Ooh, they just rolled a 1. Still get a morale check, and that's going to probably rout that unit. Let's say they had a 5. So they've lost 2. Yeah. So that unit's going to rout. Not so easy to rush up onto that artillery right down at their throat. Now he was already disordered, so hold on. So, okay, so he was already disordered, and it was what, just a morale check though? 4, yeah. Just a morale check. No. Rolled a 1. So yeah, it was just a morale check. Not any losses. Three. Okay. Of course, the British haven't been able to unlimber any guns yet. So they're going to have to take the colonial barrages. So let's I could fire at that artillery. I'm going to fire right here at these guys. Well, actually, this is the better shot. These guys are out of command. They're also disordered. Okay. Minimum fire range. I rolled a 5. Okay, so minimum artillery range. Let's put some there. They rolled a 5. So that's going to be a disorder. They're already disordered. So they lose a strength point and make a morale check. And they rolled a 1, so they passed the morale check, but they're going to take a loss. So now they've got a strength of 4. Which, hold on, 3. Okay, yeah, they still passed the morale. Okay. Clinton here, I had to move him somewhere. Clinton, he's got to be, let's see. Just left him out here in the open. Oh well. Forgot to stack him with anybody. That's right. Okay, so now we have this gun here firing. They can actually fire into the flank of that, but they're going to hit that unit right there. Rolled a 1. I don't think that's going to do anything. Might be a morale check. Yeah, be a morale check. And they rolled a 3, so they passed. So then we come down here to where Wayne's at. And they're going to fire at this light infantry. Or, I'll tell you what, they're going to fire here at this, these guys here. 1, 2, 3. Range of 3. So that'll be medium range. They have a strength of 2. 4. That'll be a morale check. They rolled a 3 and they passed. Okay. Oh, we still got one more. But I have to check some. All right, so we've got one more right here. I can fire here. 1, 2, 3. A 4. Morale check, and they rolled a 3, so they passed, so no effect. Okay. So now we roll for our infantry fire, and we get it 2, so the colonials get to fire first. And of course, they want to start over here. They want to fire first here. So, fire right here. Strength of 4. 1 is going to be no effect. For, what did I say? He rolled a 1. Yeah, no effect. Okay, so the British fire back. Strength of 6. They got a 1. No effect. So we go to here. He's firing here. Okay. Ooh. Got a 6 and a 6, which is going to be strength of 4. It's going to be a disorder. So they're disordered. And they fire back. I got a 2. Strength. Okay. No effect. All right. This unit will fire here. Strength of 4. Ooh, got a 6. That's more likely going to be a disorder. strength of 4. Yeah, it'll be a disorder. I think I'm going to run out of disordered markers. Now we also have to roll for gray. It's 2, so he's okay. All right, so he's going to fire back. 3. No effect. All right. Now, this unit, we're going to go ahead and fire with him. Oh, yeah, he's in column. He rolled a 1, no effect. Okay, this unit fires. This unit. Strength of 6. 3. Morale check. He rolled a 3, so he passes. Okay. The British unit fires back. 15th foot. Rolled a 3. Morale check, but he passes. He rolled a 1. All right, so now we move across here. And we've got that unit there can fire. He'll fire on this unit there. Four. He's got what, a strength of 4. Maximum range. He rolled a 4. No effect. All right. Now this unit wants to, he's going to fire here. All right, so he's got a strength of 6. He's going to have to get a 6. And he didn't. Okay. So now we go to this unit. We got a strength of 5. He's going to fire right here as well. Rolled a 4. No effect. Okay. And then he already fired. So this disordered unit here is going to end up firing here. It's got a strength of 4. He's disordered. But he get a 6. But they rolled a 1 for morale, so they passed. All right, so then we go to this unit. He doesn't have anybody in his range, neither does this unit, but this guy does. He's got this guy in his sights. And he only has a strength of, let's see, 2. He rolled a 1, which is going to be no effect. All right. This unit fires. It has a strength of 8. No, actually 7. And he's in column. Got a 3, 7. He's in column. D/R. And he's going to fail. So he's going to route. Do I have any more route markers? No, I don't. Well, I'm going to have to use some of these other markers. I guess I'm going to have to. I just have to make some. All right, so this one unit here, 1, 2, 3, starting around, just routed. All right, this unit here is facing the wrong direction. So, all right, so what we have is we have this disordered unit has a strength of 3, and so they're firing at this unit. They rolled a 6. Okay, so they're disordered. 6 is going to be a morale check. They rolled a 1, so they passed. All right, so they get to fire back. And so they're going to fire at this unit. Okay, and he's in column. Strength of 5. Oh, they rolled a 1. And so he's got a strength of 5. There's still a morale check. They rolled a 4, so they are going to rout. So flip them over. One, two, three. All right. This guy used to fire, and he's enfiladed inflated. So he's got a strength of 5. He rolled a 5. Let's say strength of 5. He's here. And he's going to be here. So 5 is going to be disordered. So okay, let me mark on here. I just put a D. Oops, I got the wrong side. There we go. It's close enough. Okay. Now, we go to close combat, shock combat. And let's start over here. All right. So we're going to go here to here. That's 6 to 4. That's going to be 150%. And the morale differential is going to be a +4. Okay, I rolled a 2. Okay, with a +4 is a morale check -1 for the attacker, and the defender is a DR. Disorder and retreat 3 hexes. So he takes a loss. This one here disorders 3. Goes to there. Then the British have to do a morale check. They got a 3 and they pass. So they can move into this hex and change their facing. Which they do. All right, next, this unit, this disordered, is going to attack here. So, all right, so strength-wise, we've got 6 against 4. That's 150%. And so Dickinson's going to add 1 to this morale here. So he has a 2. And so he now has a strength 2. So the morale differential is 0. And they rolled a 6, 150. So that's going to disorder and cause the defender to retreat 3 hexes. And we have to roll for the leader. No, he's okay. So we have to have another disorder. So they go back 3 axes. 1, 2, 3. And they could move in, change their facing, which they do. He would have had to go back this other way or get fired on. They couldn't have went there. 1, 2, 3, like that. All right, so now we have gray here with this disordered unit. He's attacking here, so we've got 6 against 4. And so that's under 50%. He's got a morale of 1. He has a morale of 2 plus 1 is 3. So it's going to be a morale differential of 2. And I rolled a 4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, disordered. What do I do with my cap? Let's see here. So he goes to here. Okay. Let's see what he's going to have to do here. Retreat. Okay, so he's not fired on in the hex here. So he can go to here. And then as he leaves here, he's going to be fired on by this unit. And that's a 3. And he's going to be enfiladed. So 1, 2, 3, that's a morale check. He rolled a 1, but his morale is 0. So he's now routed. And he can move in. Okay, so now we have that unit against this unit. Now we are going across that screen. And so we're going to have a -1 to the die roll. And we've got even 6 of 6. But the morale differential is 4 to 2. So it's going to be a +2. -1 on the die. So roll to 5 becomes a 4. So that's going to be a disorder and retreat 3. Three, disordered, and now he's actually in woods. Hold on. So that's -2. But the attacker, well, he's not really on higher ground. So his roll wouldn't have changed anything. Still would have been a DR. Okay. And he moves in there. Now he moves in there, he's disordered because he moved into woods. And he's not a light infantry. So could have just put a D on there. Okay, and then all the way over here, we've got this unit here. That's attacking this disordered unit here. All right, so he's got a strength of 5 against 3. So that's going to be 150%. His morale is -2, -1 more. So he's got a 3. The other got a 0. So it's going to be a +3. 3 plus 3, 150. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's a morale check and a step loss. Okay, but he's already disordered. Okay, he still has to do the same thing. He's still got to lose 1 step and check his morale. So he's now down to 4, and his morale is only a 2. So he rolled a 4, which means he's going to rout. Okay. One, 2, 3. And this unit here, 150, and when I say +3, okay, is a DR. He's already disordered. So a DR is a lose a strength and retreat 3 hexes. So his strength is now a 2, and he's going to go 1, 2, 3, right back to there. I've got to be facing the other way. All right. So that brings us up to the 12 o'clock hour. So what happened to that cat? Oh, there it is. Wanted that from my marker. Okay. So the colonial left is in shambles, and so is their right. But so is the British. We've got disordered, routed, routed, disordered, routed, disordered, disordered, disordered. Cornwallis is going to be busy trying to rally a lot of units. So this might be a good opportunity for Wayne to counterattack right into the middle there. If Lafayette was up here, that might be a good idea, but Lafayette's not. And with the two flanks disappearing, Wayne is going to have to start thinking about moving back the other way. Which means to save the artillery, he's got to limber them. And move them back. They won't be able to fire and then limber. Their formation change happens at the beginning of the move, not the end. And I like that rule, where you're not able to change formation except at the beginning of your move. So you're not able to roll up on to your opponent and unlimber. You have to move your artillery up and protect it with cavalry or infantry, and then wait till the next activation or turn to then unlimber. But you'd be able to fire. You unlimber, then when you gets to the artillery fire phase, then you can fire. But you're not able to just roll up and unlimber. So I like that rule. It takes some preparation and some planning on the part of the commander to get his artillery in position and not leave it there where it could then be captured. And another thing that I really like is the combat tables, because based on what the target is, okay, of the hex, okay, then your results are on different levels. But also based on what the target's morale is, will also affect what happens to it and what the results will be. And that's not only on the fire combat, but also on the shock combat. And there's not a lot of die roll modifiers for the shock. But if you're attacking an opponent in their flank or rear, they automatically become disordered, which I think I like that rule. And if they're disordered already, then they're going to have to do a morale check, and they're more than likely going to end up retreating. I think that is a good rule. So there's a lot of interesting mechanics in this game. And with the shock, it's not 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 3-to-2, and so forth. They have it in a ratio. 300%, 200%. That's 3-to-1, 2-to-1, 1.5-to-1, 1-to-1, like 2-to-3, 1-to-2, you know, and you're really not going to be trying to do anything less, you know, if you're at more than 50% outnumbered, you're not going to be attacking. You know, you're not looking for something like that. So 1-to-2 is not very something that you're going to be looking to do. So, and if you end up with too much of a, you know, too many people in there trying to shock, then people are getting in each other's way. So now, if you know some of my complaints about some games, I will say one thing about this game: it's a magazine game, so they're really limited in the number of counters that they can include in the game. And they're not giving you counters that you're not going to use. Like some other games, you have counters with it. Okay, I'm not going to be playing that level of complexity. So all these counters are worthless. They're wasted. So if they would have included more counters, more than likely that's going to increase the price of the magazine. And the price is at a set amount each month or whatever per subscribers and so forth. So you've got, you know, they're just limited. But it would have been nice, you know, to get the you know, all of the disordered counters that you would need. As you can see, these counters didn't come with this game. I believe they came with probably the GMT game. These are just extra counter. No, they're for something else. Because see, I've got one of them's got a 58.7. I don't know what that's all about. Or an S8 point. No, it's 58.7. I don't know what that's about. So I'm not for sure exactly where these counters came from. But they come in handy for this. So actually, the Colonials aren't doing too bad when you're considering that their morale level is not very high. It's quite low compared to the British units, and yet they're able to hold their ground so far. 12 o'clock here. I do believe that if the British can rally this side here, that that's going to cause some problems there. Plus, you've got Gray here, who's gonna end up probably, yeah, doing something here to Dickinson. Dickinson's going to have to try to rally his groups all in one little area to be able to rally him. Plus, he's too far away from Lee, so he's not going to be able to be activated, but he could still rally his guys. And Wayne's got to really think hard about looking for an opportunity to pounce on the a weak area to that, or he's going to have to turn tail and drop back to another location that would be more defendable. So I don't know where these hedgerows at. Where's the hedgerow? Must be. Hedgerow. I don't see a hedgerow anywhere. Hedgerow scenario boundary. That's this here. If I go back. So somewhere along here they've got to have is the hedge. It says it's in green. Maybe it's just in here, right here where this creek is. No, there it is. It's right there. It's way back over there. There it is. This is the green hedgerow cutting across there. And the black, that just shows you where the scenario area was at if you were playing the hedgerow scenario. Huh. Okay. Well, so we're at 12 o'clock. We're now going to move over to the GMT Monmouth Courthouse Battle. And see what's happening over there. I think you're going to see some similarities in what's going to happen to the flanks of for the Colonials there. They really there's not any troops here. You just have Lafayette. He's got some picked units there and some there. So they've got too many units that have turned tail and took off the other direction out there. So that's Jackson's and Maxwell's units. They've countermarched for 2 turns. For 2 hours they've been marching. So they're not going to be easily returned. So Clinton is going to have to jump on top of the Colonials while they've got an advantage over them in numbers. So far, we've only had 1 eliminated unit, Queen's Light Dragoons. So the next video in this series will be on the GMT, which is the 12 o'clock turn, and we've got more reinforcements coming in. So that's what's next.